Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M53 M55 and it's the Tier 9 American SPG. We're located on the north spawn of Siegfried Line and it's being commanded by Matas 0000. Now this is standard battle and it's commenced. The M55, because this is the M55, is based on the chassis of the M46, the pattern tank, and it's one of the few arties in the game with a turret that can swivel. Okay, and he's now looking for a target to fire at, and found a number straight away. There's a couple of light tanks out in the field, a T-54 lightweight and a Wizzy 132, which is what he's aiming at the moment. But he's decided not to go for those. There's an OHO making its way towards the town centre, and I think he's going to go at that. Round out. And he got a direct hit straight away off the bat. That's bound to have done a lot of damage because an 8-inch howitzer can do quite a bit. I think he's ignoring these light tanks at the moment because there's enough counterparts actually perfectly matched on the opposite side, and the T-54 lightweight on the enemy team has been taken out. Now he's got a 40, is it 43? It's bouncing around, 34.5 second reload on this 8-inch howitzer, and he's almost ready to go. But that Indian Panzer is fairly safe there because he's just round the corner. He can't hit the OHO, but he can certainly splash him. But the question is, does he really want to go for a splash, or does he want to get a direct hit? Having another look out in the field, can he get the Wizzy? No, that's gone unsighted. But there's an Object 257, and it appears he can actually hit that, or at least he can splash it. No, position's not a good one to hit any of those. It's a difficult shot to hit the Type 59. I think actually he probably hit the building rather than the Type. There's not a lot of targets he can hit at the moment. That T-34 is going to pull back. He might need to reposition because it doesn't seem to be working from here. He's getting no solid targets that he can hit. In fact, I'm beginning to think that maybe he ought to take a splash target. There's a Lerva and a T-32. He can hit those. Yep, he's decided to go for those two. He can splash them from here, and if he can do that, then he can relocate and get a better position. Okay, he's fired the round in. We don't know if it did any damage. Oh, he did stun the Lerva. And he's got 400 hit points of stun assist off that. But he's not relocating. He's just reloading at the same spot. I would have thought that it would have been better actually for him to move out into the field, because there's fewer enemy tanks in the field now, and if he was to move out into the field he could probably get good shots on those tanks that are actually located near the field area. Looks like he's having a go at the T-32. Round out. And he splashes the T-32, but we lose sight of him. We know he did 98 hit points of damage, and he is going to the field now. Okay, so that's a good decision in my view, because it means he'll open up more targets that he can hit. Plus, of course, the field is now safe, so if he fires from the field, he's got less chance of coming across an enemy vehicle. It's a 257 just south of him, and I think he's going to go for it because he can now get it cleanly and help this T-25 pilot who's desperate to survive. Oh, well, he did a huge amount of damage to the Object 257, 360 hit points, but he did damage the T-25 too as well. And in fact, actually, the T-25 pilot has actually said you hit an ally. So he's not happy about that. I thought he actually left it too late to actually fire to hit the Object 257, but the closer that guy got to the T-25, the less likely it was, or safe, for him to fire. And he is firing premium ammo at the moment. That's the thing as well. There's a T-28 out in the distance. There's a Yak Tiger in the town. He's on fire. Okay, he's dialing in. He's going to go for the Yak Tiger. Round out. Did he get a hit? Well, we don't know, but it doesn't look like he did. Now he's going to go into this dip in the corner, which is quite a good firing position, but quite an obvious one if you're on an assault battle, because it's the most likely place that somebody's going to be if they're firing Arty into the town. But he's trying to have a go at that Object 257, but he's hiding behind the walls. In fact, the city is almost, well, one part of the city is almost occupied by his forces. Looks like he's going to try and go after this T-32 again. He splashed him the last time, and he splashed him again. 159 hit points this time. Right, there's the Type 59. He's using the lake side and the ridge on the lake, or around the lake, to enable him to go hull down on the enemy tanks. The Object 257 is headed north towards the cap. Now I suspect that Object 257 is expecting to find him, because last time he was hit from the north. Oh yes! Went right into the side of the Object 257 and wiped him out. And that means that the enemy is not going to really realise that he's actually relocated to the west. Because if he had been hit and stayed alive, he would have indicated on the map where he thinks the Arty is located. I mean, he could still indicate, but it's most unlikely he will now that he's out the game. Okay, that Lurther is working that corner, and unfortunately he's actually doing a lot of damage to that Panther 2 and IS-152. But maybe the better target would be the Type 59. Yep, that's what he's going to go for. Round out on Type 59. Direct hit, wipes him out the game. 255 hit points, and that means it's now 9-7. Right, there's a whole number of targets around that area. He can finish off that Type T-32 if he can get around into him, but he's still waiting for the reload to go through. Well, if he stays there, he is going to go down. Okay, he's just checking. Well, no, there's a T-28 next door to him. So there's two tanks close together. He fires the round in. Oh, 457 hit points on the T-28. The T-32 had actually moved away by that time, so unfortunately didn't get a sort of like splash on two. But there's the enemy Arty. Okay, it's a Batchat 155-55, the Tier 9 French Arty with a single shot. And it looks like he's going to line up a shot for that, but he's decided against it. Instead, he's going to go for the Waffenträger auf Panzer IV. Round out. Oh, the Malbreaker! Oh, crumbs, that was close. The Malbreaker looked like he was going to drive straight into the field of fire of that ancient shell and jump on top of the enemy behind the wall, but instead he pulled back at the last second and the shell went long. If it had gone short, he would have been dead for sure. And it does appear that the Batchat is sitting behind that bunker, and he is the only enemy Arty. And it looks like Matas is almost loaded. Round out. Well, he hit the spot, but there was no dead tank there. And the enemy is capping. Somebody is in our cap area. Aiming at the T-28. Might be easier for him to aim a shot at the cap. Get a reset. He's only one in the cap. But he's going to go for the T-28. Oh, he fires that in wide. No effect. Didn't appear to do any damage at all. Meanwhile, the enemy is capping and they've reached 50% of the cap points. Now will be a good time for him to actually fire a round in, but he's still got about 10 seconds to go before reload's complete. Malbreaker is going to be there in a second. Now, if the Malbreaker gets the reset, he picks up a Defender's Medal. trying to work out where the enemy be. Well, they'll probably hide behind the structures or behind one of the trees. But I think he's going to wait until the Malbreaker sees what's in the cap before he shoots. I go for behind the trees. Yeah, oh, he's there. Okay, round out. And, well, they've got the reset. Question is, did he get it or did the Malbreaker get it? Well, the Malbreaker's fired at him and got another reset, so he must have got a hit. Still got another 15 seconds or so before the reload. It's 3 versus 3, 2 heavy tanks and an Arty versus a medium, a tank destroyer and an Arty. And he's going to go for that T-28 this time, I think. No, it fell short. Well, the Centurion 7-1 has actually left the cap. It's going after the Malbreaker. The Malbreaker was hit by the Batchat 155. Because he was showing stun. Now, T-28... we're still not loaded. Another 10 seconds or so. He's turning round. Well, if he can land a shell near him, he can make him a one-shot. Okay, he's loaded. Round out. Oh, yes, he has made him a one-shot now. 357 hit points. Very useful shot. The stun's very useful as well. That Ho-Ho is also stunned. He must have been hit by the Batchat. Now, the Malbreaker is headed south after taking out the Centurion. So it's 3 versus 2. And that T-28 is badly damaged. If he's in the same spot, Matas can take him out. Is he going to fire in? Yes, he is. Well, it was worth a try, because if the T-28 had stayed there... then he would have got him. But he's going to now fire at where the Batchat 155-55 was last seen. But I doubt that he will be there, because it's more than likely after that shell landed, he relocated. I mean, most Arty players would, if a shell landed near them, go somewhere else, because they've obviously been spotted. So this might be a wasted shell. Well, he's fired it, and the T-28's now suddenly been spotted. And I think that shell was wasted, and we just lost the Ho-Ho to the T-28. Is the Malbreaker going to end the T-28? He might. Oh, he does, but he gets stunned by the Batchat. I don't think the Batchat's there anymore. And of course the problem is the Batchat is one of the faster Arties. It may look a bit big and cumbersome, but it was built on the Batchat chassis, Batchat 25 ton. Therefore it's actually quite fast. It's got 155mm howitzer as its main armament. And that is the 2-minute warning. So we've had 13 minutes of this game already. Standard game, 15 minutes. 2 to go. I doubt that the Batchat will be there, but the thing is the Batchat has got a poor view range, and the only tank it's going to see now is the Malbreaker. He keeps firing rounds in. He's only got 1 round left now. I don't think the Batchat's there. He probably would have been better off holding on to that shell. He asks the Malbreaker, last shell, let me kill please. He's going after the Fadins. But I think you're aiming in the wrong place. He's not there. We would have seen a tracer if the Batchat still was armed and was still there. Yeah, there's the Batchat. You see, he's actually relocated. He's a fast little Arty, and he's gone into the town centre, and he wants to shotgun the Malbreaker. But he's in the wrong position to do that, and he fires the round in. Oh, he took him out! He got him! Last shell! Excellent shot. He correctly judged he was going to go to that corner. He fired the shell in just at the right time, and the splash was enough to take out the Bat-Chat. I think actually he did hit the Bat-Chat twice. He must have hit him earlier in the game and did enough damage so that he could splash him to death. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And oh my god, this is really good. He actually got his second mark in the M55. He also picked up an ace tanker, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 17. A Gore's medal for doing more damage than 10 times the hit points of his own vehicle. A Fadin's medal for killing the last enemy with the last round in his magazine. And he also picked up a Defender medal because he did get the reset on the cap when the Centurion 7-1 was actually in the cap. So let's have a look at the other details now. The Bat-Chat. It does appear, it doesn't show that it was 2 hits, but I think it was 2 hits that he managed to get on that Bat-Chat. So let's have a look at the team scores. Well, highest damage, 3,653 hit points of damage by the M53. He managed to get the second highest kills, 3. The VK16801 managed to get 4. That's the Malbreaker. At least, yeah, it is the Malbreaker. And 3 members of the enemy team also managed to get 3 kills apiece. When it came to base XP, he was second with 1,103. He fired all 20 rounds of ammunition in his magazine. He got 5 direct hits, 5 penetration, and splash of 14. He did damage of 3,653 hit points, all at more than 300 meters. But he did damage that T-25 Pilot 1, and unfortunately he was fined for 305 hit points of damage. He damaged 8 of the enemy but killed 3 of them, and he did stun assistance damage of 1,750 hit points off 15 stuns, and he managed to get 100 defense points. He managed to fire enough rounds in at that Centurion to collect 100 defense points. On a standard account, he earned 36,151 credits, but he got a battle payment as well for 5,037 credits, and he was fined 2,573 credits for damaging the T-25 Pilot. That brought up a total of 38,615 credits. But he did use a lot of premium ammo towards the start of the battle, and so that meant that he only had 68,050 credits as his ammunition resupply, leaving him with only a deficit of 29,435 credits. So he actually lost money on the battle, but he received 1,103 base XP, was fined 2 XP for the damage on the T-25, and that gave him 1,101 XP to take away. So yep, he took away a loss in credits and positive in XP, but the one thing he did take away was the 2 mark, and that's going to sit on his barrel forever, so I'm sure he'll be very happy with that. And the ace, the Gores, the Fadins and the Defender is quite a haul to have in just one battle. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.